What particular topics did Buddha teach? Written by Thanawaro Bhikkhu, July 7, 2023. Read by Panyamon Vihakapirom. This can be answered by saying that he taught the middle way, to be neither too strict nor too slack, go neither to one extreme nor another. On the one hand, we are to avoid the very harsh self-mortification practiced in certain yoga schools, which simply creates difficulties and troubles. On the other hand, we must keep away from practices which allow us sensual pleasures. This is to say, pleasures amount to the saying, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. This is an extremely cynical expression appropriate for people interested only in pleasing the senses. By contrast, the middle way consists of, on the one hand, not creating hardships for yourself and others, and on the other hand, not indulging to your heart's content in sensual pleasures. Walking the middle way brings about conditions which are in every way conducive to our study and practice, and to success in putting an end to dukkha. The expression middle way can be applied generally in a variety of situations. It cannot lead you astray. It is striking the golden mean. As a convenient sum up, I would say to follow 7 noble virtues that constitute walking the middle way: knowing causes, knowing effects, knowing oneself, knowing how much is enough, knowing the proper time, knowing individuals, and knowing groups of individuals. However, we could answer it equally by saying that he taught self-reliance. You all understand what self-reliance is? To put it briefly, we do not rely on fortune and fate. We are not to rely on celestial beings or God. We help ourselves. To quote the Buddha, self is the refuge of self. When one is miserable and deluded, one must turn to the way of self-help. Buddha only points out the way. Making the effort is something that each individual must do for himself. This teaching is not a contrast to the teaching of loving kindness. Please do not confuse. Because Buddha had metta, that's why he taught self-reliance. Another way of answering is to say the Buddha taught that everything happens in consequence of causes and conditions, and in accordance with natural laws, as Buddha said. Each thing arises from a cause. We must know the cause of that thing and the ceasing of the cause of that thing. With this, Dhamma is scientific in nature, and we can safely say that the principles of Buddhism agree with the principles of science. Buddha did not use individuals or subjective things as criteria. Buddhism is a religion of reasoning. To answer yet another way as a rule of practice, Buddha taught, avoid evil, do good, and purify the mind, called Ovada Patimokkha, the summary of all exhortations. No need to explain avoid evil and do good, but purifying the mind is not so obvious. If one goes about grasping and clinging even to goodness, the mind develops impurities such as fear of not getting good, fear of being deprived of existing good, anxiety, worry, and attachment to this and that as mine. All of these produce dukkha. Even though we may have been successful in avoiding evil and doing good, we still must know how to render the mind free. Do not grasp at or cling to anything as being self or as belonging to a self. Otherwise, it will be a misery and a heavy burden. A load of gems carried on the shoulder is just as heavy as a load of rocks. A load of money is as heavy as a load of garbage. Do not carry on, put it aside. This is what it means by purifying the mind. Here is another important teaching as a worthwhile reminder. Elephant footprint. He taught all things and all beings in this world are perpetually flowing, forever disintegrating. They are impermanent. Let's all be well equipped with His fullness. I would like to reinterpret that as, do not go playing with these things. They will bite you, slap you in the face, and fasten you tightly. You will be made to sit and weep, or perhaps even commit suicide. Be cautious and be careful, all my dear friends.